Hello everybody, welcome to the Empressive channel. The former reality star and model Draya Michele had a few things to say about Mariah Carey dating the younger musician Anderson .Paak. It seems like Draya is not too happy with the fact that people seem to not care about the age difference between Mariah and Anderson. However, people had a lot to say about the age difference between her and her baby daddy, Jalen Green. Got the scoop screenshotted this comment that Draya said, saying, "That's that 17-year age gap smile. Go Mimi with y'all selective A's." So you could kind of sense the shady tone of that post. You know, Draya was dragged mercilessly for actually getting pregnant by a 22-year-old basketball player named Jalen Green. Draya is almost 40 years old, so the age difference is pretty glaring. Not to mention, Jalen is the same age as her oldest son, so that makes things weird. Also, it was put out there that Draya used to be friends with the young girl that Jalen used to date. In fact, they said that she watched this girl grow up. T-Snipers put it out there and said, "I can't get over how Draya Michele was all in Bria Hick's house and watched her grow up to only start dating that young girl ex-boyfriend, Jalen Green. Shake my head, Draya is dead wrong. She should be dating someone her own age, let alone this girl worked for you. You knew her mother and was all under her pics. Dirty work. Now Bria Hick should date Draya's son." So yeah, there was a lot of controversy around Draya dating Jalen, not just because of the age difference, but because of just the optics. I mean, he used to be the boyfriend of the girl that she watched grow up. Not only that, he is the same age as her son. So yeah, it's weird. And also people know that she intentionally got pregnant by this man because she needed to secure the bag. And Jalen has a big bag from the NBA. He actually signed a 3-year contract that pays him $106 million. So yes, Draya got the bag. And I think she just got tired of dating around and looking for a come up. I mean, she was dating a lot of different entertainers, athletes, and rappers. She even was Diddy's girl at one point, allegedly.
So yeah, like last time I seen Draya, when we was talking about that shit, she was with Puff. Like Draya, like giving him a hand job or something under the blanket. I'm like, bro, I don't want to talk too much. I went back downstairs with Travis Scott.
So, you know, if Draya was messing with Diddy, she was doing some strange things for some change. And, you know, I think she got tired of that whole fast lifestyle and she needed a retirement plan. So she got a young, dumb, rich guy to have a baby with, and it is what it is. But her situation is not the same as Mariah's situation. Yes, Mariah is dating a younger man. She dated and married Nick Cannon, who is 9 years younger than her. She also dated her background dancer, Brian Tanaka, who was younger than her, and now she's with Anderson .Paak, who's younger than her. But Anderson is almost 40 years old, and Mariah is 55. So these are grown people. Also, Mariah is not dating a man who's the same age as her children, and she's not getting pregnant with a man for a check. So yeah, their situations are definitely not the same. But I understand Draya is tired of getting beat down over her relationship with Jalen. I get it. I was even very mean when I talked about it at first, and I kind of regret it too, because I was like, dang, I didn't have to be so harsh. But still, Draya can't change the way people view her relationship because the optics don't look good. They just don't. So her trying to raise comparisons to Mariah and Anderson's relationship is just not going to work. Now, moving on, I want to talk a little bit about this because some days ago, the Braxton family's niece, Ashlee Braxton, came forth and exposed some details about the family that are pretty disturbing. Now, Ashlee Braxton is the daughter of the Braxtons' older brother, Michael Braxton, and she has been speaking up a bit about her childhood. Her childhood was very, very rough. In fact, she did an interview talking about how her mother abandoned her when she was very young, and her father remarried, and her stepmother was abusive to her and her sister, Lolo Braxton. Not to mention, her father was abusive to her stepmother, and she even said the father was abusive to her and her sister as well. So it was a toxic environment, and Ashlee actually ended up leaving the country to find some healing. And unfortunately, her younger sister, Lolo, passed away from a drug overdose, which was very, very tragic. And Ashlee also brought up a story where one of her aunts, her famous aunts, cut her off and stopped talking to her because she thought Ashlee was having an inappropriate interaction with her husband. And mind you, Ashlee was 16 years old at the time.
Okay, so I want to tell a story today, and that story is about how one of my aunts in my family do not talk to me because they think that I, at the age of 16, did something with her partner at the time. I guess she felt like I did something with her partner at that time, and nothing happened, but I'm gonna try to tell the story quickly and also not name any names. And so I was with this aunt for the summer with my sister, and I can't remember how much time had passed since we were there in the summer for a little bit of time to when we got home. And when I think it was my stepmother was going through my phone and she found this conversation, this sort of conversation. And she showed it to my dad, and my dad called that aunt and we spoke about it and we talked about it a little bit. And I remember just a lot of emotions, was a lot going on. I was 16 at the time and I'm 32 now. I had to think about it. So yeah, my aunt was there for me. She was very kind and very nice and was like, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. But then as the years have gone by, it's like that mood and that assumption that I didn't do anything because I was a child was not that assumption anymore. It just felt like love from my family was just cut off and gone. And you're like, but wait, that guy? And it made it even worse because it was like, wait, this guy that was doing this to you on TV? And like, it's kind of cohorts in the same spirit of what was happening. Not in the same cohorts, in the same spirit, but like, you know? So for me, it was difficult because I realized that my aunt was starting to feel this way that I initiated, or that it was I'm a part of the problem to blame. And I was saying before that I never should have been put in that situation as a kid at all, ever, especially when there's an adult involved. So I'm 16, I'm at my aunt's house, and when I leave, I'm there for the summer, her husband at the time decides to start sexting me. So sexting in a sexual manner, okay? There was nothing physical that happened, absolutely nothing physical. However, when my parents first brought it up to my aunt, she was there for me, very like, I'm so sorry this happened to you. And as the years have evolved, that has turned into, it's your fault. It's turned into, you were old enough to know right from wrong. And it's turned into something physical happened and you did it. And for me, that's mind-boggling to me, because if there was something that was physical that happened, and I'm 16 years old, this makes this person right. You know the word and I can't use it. And so that is mind-boggling. It's just something that I don't really understand. I'm 16 years old. I'm 16, so I think the hardest part for me was trying to navigate as to why is it me? Do you know? Why am I the scapegoat? Why are you not talking to me? I didn't ask for it. Why do you want me to come to you and say, yes, I had a physical relationship with this person? Like, that makes him, do you know what I mean? I said that I wouldn't get emotional on this, and I don't know. This person has also had a platform to be able to talk and to be able to voice, show his character of who he is, and like, we're all just Or it's just breaking bread with the person as if nothing has happened, or like it's just, I don't know.
Now, Ashlee did confirm who the aunt was. She liked this comment on TikTok that said, "This sounds like Trina and Gabe." She gave context clues. She said the person was on TV operating in the same spirit. Gabe had a sex addiction. And Ashlee liked this, so she confirmed it. And it's really unfortunate that this happened, period. But it's unfortunate that it's Trina who is the one who cut her niece off over Gabe, you know. And if you remember watching Braxton Family Values, you know what Gabe put Trina through. He cheated on her constantly, and she was an emotional wreck over it. She was always drinking. She was having meltdowns. It was a mess. And Trina also contributed to the toxicity as well. She lashed out at Gabe, and she even had her own affairs. So their relationship was super up and down, but it didn't change the fact that Gabe continued to cheat on Trina. And I know that he has passed away, but it's still really disturbing and disgusting and predatory of him to initiate a conversation like that with Ashlee, especially considering that she was a minor. Ugh. And I'm really sad that Trina handled it the way she did. She blamed Ashlee. That's messed up, and she's still not talking to her. I don't believe that Ashlee said they ever reconciled, so I'm going to assume that she still hasn't talked to her. But I hope that changes. I hope that this is addressed between Trina and Ashlee, because it's really a sore spot for Ashlee. And I think an apology is owed to her as well. Ashlee was not protected, plain and simple. She just wasn't protected. She grew up in a toxic household. Her mother left her. She was abandoned when she was young, and she had to grow up with two parents who were abusive, you know. And on top of that, she was preyed upon by her aunt's husband. And even if she engaged in the conversation, she was still 16 years old. She didn't know what she was doing. And this is not to say she didn't have a conscience and she didn't know what was right and what was wrong. I'm pretty sure she knew it wasn't right, and she had to be uncomfortable with it. However, she was still too young to fully grasp how inappropriate it was. Gabe, however, knew. He knew good and well he shouldn't have been talking to that little girl, which is why it's really unfair that Trina would blame her own niece. She would throw away her own niece over Gabe, who was a predator. That's crazy. It's really twisted. And unfortunately, this happens in some families. It does. There are some women who will believe and protect the predator over the actual victims and their families. And it's all because they just want to keep their man. They just want to keep their marriage together. They don't want to feel like they're in competition with somebody else, even if it's a 16-year-old girl. It's really sad. So it's not surprising to hear that something like this happened in the Braxton family because of just how toxic their family dynamic has been. And I'm kind of veering off the subject a little bit, but I do have to say this. The Braxton family is full of secrets and trauma, okay? They have been taught to suppress their trauma over the years. Instead of getting to the root of their problems, they fuss and they fight and they hold grudges for years and years and years. And they learned this behavior from their mother, Evelyn. She held a grudge against their father for years over his affair, and her bitterness kind of trickled down on her children, and they learned that behavior from her. So the way Trina kind of held this grudge against her niece doesn't surprise me, because she was conditioned to behave this way. These are the toxic communication patterns that the Braxtons have had in their family for years. I don't want to really get down and unpack all the trauma that happened in the Braxton family, because there's a lot, and there's still a lot that we don't know. But Ashlee is speaking up about what happened to her. She's tired of being silenced, and she wants to speak up, and she wants to help heal others with her story. And like I said, I do hope some reconciliation is able to happen. You know, if Ashlee is open to it and if Trina is mature enough, I hope they reconcile, because there's really no point in holding grudges, because it wasn't Ashlee's fault. It just wasn't. But anyway, tell me what y'all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.